The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't...
I'm gonna say that it is 12 a.m. 1:59 p.m. actually.
It is the middle of the middle.
Hang on. Before we get started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you booted. A lot of people don't take the time, so they say they just leave the clock sit at 12 and call it a day. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. It's actually 8:48 p.m. I don't even have.
I can't believe you lied.
If the times you're saying are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see this here, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. I gotta pick my favorite time. Oh, it's amazing.
What's your favorite time?
Great question. Next question.
Okay. I'll take that as a yes.
How do you know?
I just get like a sixth sense
This is the story.
about these things. This is the story of a man named Story.
All of his
Once
co-workers
upon a
were
time, there
gone.
was a story.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I know
Perhaps he had
what I
simply
wanna
missed
do
a memo.
first, though.
What do thou wish to do?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted
Can't
to
believe
stop
you're
by
not
the
going to the
employee
meeting
lounge
room.
first, just to admire it.
The employee room.
Yes, truly a
Why
room
not?
worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I'm not gonna order my death.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult,
crush me?
but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Yeah, I mean,
Someone you've forgotten about.
My wife?
Please,
I think about being an
stop
OSHA
trying to make
violation.
every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
That's very honestly dark.
it's just some advanced darkness.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I don't wanna. Wait. I'm gonna let her ring.
I mean, not picking up the phone is technically a choice.
Can I unplug it?
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
No.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that?
I didn't.
You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner?
Yeah, how?
You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
I'm not. I am Stanley.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch.
We're taking you
I'm
to
going
the
to stop the
serious
game for a
room.
moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world.
No, please.
Please observe this helpful
I
instructional
don't want to watch
video.
a video.
Too bad.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if
I
used
need it?
incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not
I'm
real.
not real.
Allow the person to finish their thought,
No, you're real.
then provide an excuse
real?
why you cannot continue talking.
Sorry.
Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Okay, I get practice.
Excellent.
Oh,
Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a
Chompers?
healthy decision-making process.
Choppers.
Most medical
Oh, I miss you,
professionals
buddy.
recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and
My choices
reinforce
don't
the
matter.
material covered in this video.
distraught at the sight
Welcome back.
of
You may
her
have noticed that this
missing
room has
child.
begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction.
I'm
but not
sorry.
to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way,
Danger.
please.
I can't pick up the phone.
You already made your choice. You can't undo your decision.
I thought I was gonna be locked back in there, in the office, and I was about to be sad.
Funny decision.
Teehee.
Hee.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and
Oh, come
dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all.
That's like
We
the
just
best
need to
type
get
of
you
story.
home as soon as possible before
It's
the
the greatest
narrative
story.
contradiction gets any worse.
This is the
Unfortunately, it
greatest
seems this place
one.
is not well equipped to deal with reality.
We.
Stanley casually flies a helicopter through the office complex.
I can't wait for that animatic.
Someone's probably made it, and I am very curious about it.
You should go try to find it, and then. Can I go to the office now? I want to go to the meeting room.
Well, congratulations, you're here at the meeting room. Oh, wait, no, this is the employee lounge.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Don't you want to be home free in the real world?
No.
Now remember,
Exactly.
all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first.
But I'm told that I
quite
need to
sure
care
you'll be
about
up to the
myself
task.
and
Just
put
follow my
myself
lead and you'll be
first.
fine. All right.
Well, yourself is
When Stanley
real.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No!
Coco, no.
Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
No.
I made it. See, it's
Oh, it's ruined.
It's okay.
I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that
Yes, okay.
my story, you've
okay.
destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that?
I got a
What did you
chuckle.
think was so special about seeing the game undone? Left here like so much garbage. It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it?
Yeah.
To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving
this
its
couch.
impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is
That
it
looks
better to
like a
shut
very
the game down
comfortable couch.
entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down.
Please
I have
don't.
to. I
I have a
have
plant.
Yo, it's plant buddy.
I want me a plant. Oh, it's vibing as a plant.
Yo, sister channel, botany is vibing.
I don't like this.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you.
Hi, I missed you.
Who thought you were so clever.
Hey, how's it going?
Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed.
I'm
It was
sorry.
the only thing in the world that was mine, and you run it into the
I'm
ground.
sorry.
What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to
No.
see?
Yeah?
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley?
No, you
He
didn't.
actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He
Rude.
understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it?
Nope, I
That
have a
there's a
different voice in my
world
head.
outside of you. You're a
Yes.
child.
Hello.
I am a child.
My story.
Yep, we're both children.
If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have
not
seen
like
it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious.
turned it
It would
on.
have been so perfect. I worked so
And then get
hard on
nuked.
it. I tried so hard to make
I miss Plant Buddy.
is behave exactly as Stanley would.
You miss-
That means choosing responsibly
Stanley.
and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh no.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing
Yeah.
responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on
He
his
entered the
left.
door on his left.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly
I don't
Hey,
like
welcome
it.
back.
always putting the story
I'm half
first.
tempted to
I'm
go
quite
left
sure
now,
you'll
but
be
I
up to
want
the
to go right.
task. Just follow
It's
my
right's always
lead and you'll be
right.
fine. All right.
But what if left is correct?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
I'll go right one
he
more time.
entered the door on his left.
No, Coco, don't do it. You're gonna destroy.
It's normal.
Yet there was not
Yeah,
a
that's
single
'cause you
person
didn't
here
destroy.
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Chris.
Chris is disappointed with your actions. He has locked the broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm... Okay.
Yep.
This is...
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked,
You got a paint
unraveled,
job.
Stanley wondered in disbelief who
Actually, kinda like
orchestrated
it.
this,
There's no
until
piano
he saw
though,
the
so-
Yeah,
door
that's
with a
nice.
voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code
Shark.
to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Shark 199. 119.
Night Shark 115.
Night Shark 115.
Night Shark 115.
Night Shark 115.
Stanley
Shark
spoke
115.
the code. Night Shark
Night Shark
115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
I'm so confused.
You gotta speak the code.
I did.
Night Shark 115.
Night Shark
I'm
gotta
sorry,
speak
is there
it.
a problem? You
How?
didn't mishear me, did you? Please
By doing
speak
it.
the code into
I
the
did.
receiver.
Night Shark
Otherwise, we
115.
can't get on with the story. This is a crucial
Speak it
step.
harder.
Night Shark 115. Can you hear me?
Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect
Night
Stanley
Shark
shows for his
115.
choices. He knows what it
Night
means to
Shark
take a story
115.
seriously.
Shark
If you didn't want to
115.
see what I had to show you,
Night
then
Shark
why did you come
115.
here? You had a
Don't
choice, you know.
understand.
You could have gone through the door on the right.
Night Shark
You could have done
115.
whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
Yo, it's like Gmod.
the door on his
For real.
left.
Woo! It's just like Gmod.
Go on the one to your right.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
No,
I need you
Stanley.
to walk through the door. Are you listening to me?
What?
Can you hear me?
I like his face.
Is everything all right?
He has a very nice
Stanley, this
face.
is important.
We finally got the
The
credits.
story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step
broke him,
forward,
narrator.
please. Choose
I can't believe the stand is broke.
anything.
I feel bad
This is
now.
more important than you can ever know. I need this.
Sorry.
The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice.
He's gonna cry.
It's all right.
He's
I'll
gonna
wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do.
I can't believe you made the British man
As
cry.
much time as you need.
Jump scare? Aw. I'm gonna wait for
Loading
you.
screen jump scare.
I feel bad.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What did it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright.
Would you like some new content?
New content? What does that mean, new content?
I can't read that. Ah! I don't like this!
Welcome to new content.
Wait. In the world?
Hello,
Welcome to new
and
content.
thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
You're welcome.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
I did not know that.
After receiving critical and
Did you not know
commercial
that?
success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
I don't like
Please,
this.
step inside and see what thrilling new
Welcome to
adventures
new
await
content.
in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Chris?
No, that's Briss. The
Okay,
janitor.
so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing
Ocean
adventure.
adventure? Ocean adventure?
We're gonna have the ocean adventure.
Yo, that's
Is it
swag.
broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Or, oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new
Ascending.
content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Ocean adventure, ocean adventure.
Ocean
I
adventure.
have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious.
I know,
It's
right?
as if oh,
I know.
okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
You can jump.
Yo. Narrator, are you having fun?
Oh, I'm having fun.
Wow. Everyone's having fun.
Yeah.
Now I can cheat things with the power of jump. Double dash. Aww.
No jump for you.
Sadness.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I
going
have
up.
to
I don't think
say,
we're having an ocean
initial
adventure.
impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is
Yeah.
new content,
I mean,
then I could just
it
read
would
you the
probably
whole
fix
dictionary.
security
There's 20
breach.
hours of new content right
Exactly.
there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it
That's
is.
not the fern.
It's not a good fern.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Twitter.
It's my fault, Stanley.
Not
I built
Twitter.
up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations.
Yeah,
if you're
be
still
better.
with me, why don't we just reset the game?
No,
And we'll
please don't.
try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about.
Wanna.
No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and
Too
me
bad.
having a great time together like always.
We don't
What do
have
you
a great
say,
time.
friend?
You call me friend? Okay, we can restart. Aww.
You are Flynn. The council has decided you are Flynn.
That's... I like how the office just never changes. Like, oh wait.
It's like the TARDIS.
The roof changed. But I don't know Doctor Who.
Me neither. I mean, I'd assume the TARDIS never changes.
Stanley,
Yes,
come
Mary?
over here. In the vent.
But,
I want to show you something.
but you call
Coco,
me
you
friend.
gotta vent.
It's a wrench.
You gotta vent. You are sussy among us.
Oh gosh. Ah, loading.
No, it's logging.
Play this often?
I've never actually
You
played
remember
the
how
Stanley
cheap and
Parable before.
unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content
probably
turned out
should.
to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be.
You don't
So
enjoy
I
this?
made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Welcome to Skyrim.
Oh my goodness, did you make this just for me, narrator? Oh.
Yeah.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want.
Aw.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then,
No.
video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Good. Our first kiss, my first car, the release of Stanley Parable.
You know, the best stuff.
Am I gonna like get like a boyfriend because I'm playing the Stanley Parable in 2023? Ayo.
Well, obviously, your boyfriend is now Stanley.
I don't want Stanley. I want the narrator.
Alright, well, the narrator is now your boyfriend. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a physical form, so he's just gonna be in your head.
Yeah, I guess that's okay. Oh, it's my first dollar.
Okay. Your first dollar.
Go outside, don't play for 5 minutes.
That is the best achievement.
How many? The British Is this a British game? Well, let's say
I
New York
mean-
Times.
I mean, the narrator is British, but I think the rest of the team is American.
Aww. I wanna sit down and enjoy the view.
Just enjoy the view from behind the bench.
It's the piano.
It's the Pinot.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
We love good water physics.
Yes. Oh, line trademark. Portal 2. That's Portal 1.
Yes, that's Portal 1. That's obviously the Stanley Parable.
I want to go down. Oh. Never mind.
That's the maintenance for the memories then.
The greatest wealth is memory. The end is the thing. People play games because of what they can do inside them, and your game is very good at letting them know they can't do anything. Literally anything.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Oh, the serious room.
It's the serious room.
Yo.
It's where you go to be serious.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at
Sorry,
these in
I just had to
years.
sneeze. I was
I
allergic
can't even
to
imagine
reviews.
what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were
I
glowing.
thought you
as
were
well, weren't they?
allergic to Steam.
No, I'm just allergic to Steam reviews.
Ah.
Hey, look, it's a good one.
Honestly, I could not
Why
be
is the
bothered
good
to
one
play
hidden?
this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and
Hey, don't talk to him
unfunny,
like
with
that.
his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining.
I can't go.
Funny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
I think you're funny.
The narrator is funny. He's a 10 out of 10 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Narrator, are you doing okay? Hey, look, it's a good one. This game is the best game. It says that.
Okay, let's see
Exactly.
what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black
sorry.
marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record.
You're doing
I feel
great.
like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps
No.
the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
No, it is. It's beautiful. People have different opinions.
Yeah. Some people are just
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
I don't wish there was a skip button. I enjoy your
A skip
voice.
button? Well, yes.
His voice
Yes,
is
I think
nice
we
to
can do
listen
that.
to.
If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Can't go in the water. Oh.
Negative review. You can't go in the water.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue.
I feel bad.
And it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the
I like
end
your
of
voice.
time,
So
at which
honest,
time
yeah.
everything all at once, so, now you see, blah blah blah
His
blah
voice
blah
is
blah
very
blah
nice.
blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end
sound
of
rich.
time,
Are you
at which
rich,
time
Jeremy?
everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah.
He owns, like,
blah,
one
blah,
book.
blah, blah, blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working
I think
backwards,
his
the
dialogue
deduction
looped.
therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but
That
it
was
was
a few
plenty of
minutes.
time for me to deliver a long,
Yeah.
rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and
wanna
lengthy
press it again.
ruminations on the
But I'm
nature
not.
of choice
It's
in
mean.
video games. Of course,
I mean, you
happen to
can
believe
always
it was perhaps
press
one of my
whenever.
more profound
I
such
feel
ruminations.
bad.
Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto.
I don't know what those words
Look,
mean.
I'll outline it for you very
Thank
briefly,
you.
and you can tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the
Right.
time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label
I
on this one.
don't.
I think it
Wait.
has much more of a treatise
I zoned
vibe
out for
to
like
it.
a minute.
But wouldn't you say that manifesto just
Choice,
has a
yeah.
much grander sort of
I don't know
tone?
what that
It has
means.
a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto.
don't know what
Heavens, at this rate,
manifesto
we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall
I'm so
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you?
Sorry.
But that's the power
I'm
of
sorry.
the button.
Yeah.
The minute I start to go off
It's
on a
okay.
thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review,
They
or at least
better.
change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works.
that sounds like a lot of
Perhaps
work.
that would have been the smart thing to check on
I
before I
mean,
went about
you
this
could
whole
just
exercise of making the
talk to
skip
Val.
button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, Surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this
Yeah,
very
get on that, Gabe
situation.
Newell.
Yes, I think that's quite likely.
Is this what you've
Or
been waiting
perhaps
for,
they'll
say
simply
one,
grant
two?
this particular
It's him.
user the ability to
Hard
change
making
their
chocolate
review
shakes all
so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Yeah, okay, 100%. I'm on board.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again.
Okay.
I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just...
get rid of
Wait,
it.
how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think
Magic.
one can enter a room without a door of
plan.
some sort, or
Wait,
a
let me see.
window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to
That's the
please
plan.
step away from the skip button.
I'm sorry,
To go
I'm sorry.
anywhere other than the skip button.
I'm
There was a
sorry.
door.
Wait.
Can't you just make a door?
I swear there
Wait,
was.
that chair wasn't
Where
there.
did it go?
Right.
Can you
The
maybe
chair was always there.
just ram your way through a wall?
I think the
Is
chair
there
was
any
there.
possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave?
Rangers.
Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me
I'm
here.
trying.
We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from
The
one room to
button
another.
looks very
I'm going
nice.
to step away
No,
for just a
no.
moment, and I'm going to try to find
Okay,
us a door.
please do.
I don't know how exactly
Yeah.
to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise.
Please.
You just need to not do anything.
Please
Don't
hurry.
press the skip
Please
button.
hurry.
Please, please. Please,
I
do
need you
not
to- I
press
need
the
you to
skip
hurry.
button. Just
Sir,
wait here.
please.
Wait here for me.
Oh, narrator,
and don't
please.
press the skip
Please
button.
hurry.
Got it?
Yes, and you
good.
got it.
I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
Please just hurry. I can't not hit the button forever.
He's gonna go find his button in the door.
It's so tempting. It's yellow. It's happy.
I know. It reminds me of the good times.
It reminds me of Nico with the sun. If I pressed that, I could get Nico back.
It reminds me of the year 1648.
Ooh, that was a good year.
Yeah, let me look up what happened in that year. Now I'm curious.
1648.
Yeah.
It was before the American Revolution.
Alright, let's see here. The 30 Years' War ended that year. Kent Rose became, Kent revolted in the king's name in Britain and caused the Second Civil War.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is he gonna come back?
No, he's looking for the door.
Is he ever gonna come back? Do I don't.
No, it'll take him like 2 hours to find the door.
So I have to wait here 2 hours, or I could press the button.
Just press the button, it'll skip you ahead in like a couple minutes.
I feel bad though. I told him I wouldn't.
I mean, hey, you're not gonna do anything otherwise, why not just skip ahead?
I'm sorry.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
I'm sorry.
See you
You've
just a
been
couple
frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
Sorry.
I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again.
I'm sorry.
I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am.
I've
I'm
met Cookie
fixating on
Nine.
every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment.
I could.
What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the Oh, Stanley. Look back.
It's okay, Coco.
Back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
I'm sorry, Stanley.
I think it's been a week.
What?
Or 2 weeks.
Huh?
I've been sitting here all that time.
It's not that long.
Not a single person to speak with.
I'm so sorry.
And you'd think that that's just how it's
It's
always
perfectly
been.
fine.
Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always?
No.
Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close.
I'm sorry.
Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening.
I am listening.
I
sorry.
needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground.
I'm still
One
hanging on.
single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that
Please?
someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm
Narrative.
saying, I need to know you can
Narrative.
hear me.
Go get the
Because
water
maybe,
from inside
Stanley,
and water the
maybe,
plants,
if you can
please.
hear me, then maybe...
If he can't get a door here, I doubt he can get water here.
Maybe I'm not just
Not
a
with that
fiction.
attitude.
Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps. Yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time. That if I stop
don't like the
speaking, I'll
fire
slip
alarm.
backwards into the silence and be consumed
Uh-oh.
by it.
What?
I can't be taken by it,
It
Stanley.
lagged,
I
and I was
can't
really
lose
scared
myself
that
in
it
a
was gonna
stretch of
restart,
emptiness
and that's
between
how
you
it's
and
gonna
me.
restart.
When you press that button, you're still right there. But I know you're so tremendously far
darkness
away.
is lagging
And
your
in those
computer.
moments, the emptiness
Alright, we're still
folds itself
recording.
outward
Just
in
wanna make
between
sure.
the two of us. And I am suspended in its
The
unyielding
darkness is using ray
quietness.
tracing.
I can feel the
gosh.
edges of my reality curdling
I don't want to be part of the
inward
dark
in
world.
decay.
It's not this game.
I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here.
Have you ever
I am a
paid attention to the
being.
narrator?
I am
I kinda got
someone.
distracted
I am something.
again.
I am being listened to. I am being
He said
recognized. The
he-
emptiness between us has
he's
collapsed,
scared of
and I feel right now like I am not a
speaking
work of
because he
fiction.
fears
I
he'll
feel
go
as
back
though
into
I
the
occupy
silence.
space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall.
Yeah, you have
see what
cast
I'm
the
saying,
shadows.
don't you?
Yeah.
You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all.
you
I feel
appreciate me?
renewed.
You can
I
call me
feel
a friend again?
restored, and already I can sense the looming
You are my
silence
friend.
as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
This poor the plant. Oh, I thought the leaf was like levitating. I was like, wow, that truly is a plant.
Yep. This is truly the plant of all time.
Do I press it again?
Yep. It's inevitable. It's the only thing you can do.
Where's this light coming from? Is it really that casting down here and reflecting?
Yeah.
Neat.
Didn't you
Right.
learn this in science class? That light surfaces reflect light.
Narrator?
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome.
I missed
I
you.
have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped
sorry.
keeping track after a year. Have you
sorry.
ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for
No.
you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is
sorry.
only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt
That point
nothing
is
at all but
thick.
regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past.
Sorry.
And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment, and I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation
still
that
alive.
I have
I
been
haven't been
experiencing
eating or
now for longer than I could have ever expected
the
was
skip
possible.
button.
I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do,
I'm
that
not
perhaps
afraid.
one day this state of mind will consume you
I'm
as
always
well.
afraid of
Perhaps
everything.
you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I
Just
wish for
share
you
on
to
a
know
banana.
how
It's
excruciating
very
it is, and for you to be in true
That's
terror
you?
of its eventual arrival.
Yep.
If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring
think
me
the
the
skip button
smallest
tastes like a
moment
banana?
of peace in the darkness.
It tastes like pineapple. It's pineapple flavored.
Not even lemon.
No. Also, narrator, I'm sorry. Let me. Where's the chair? The chair's over here. Let me sit next to the chair. Look, I'm sorry, but this ain't my fault. Yeah, you got in your head, and then I What am I supposed to do? Am I just supposed to sit here, wait? Do you want me to die? Because if I can't, you can't die, obviously. You're immortal. I can die. Unless I press the skip button. I love you, and here we go.
Welcome to the internet.
Narrator? Narrator?
He's probably just asleep.
Narrator, no, did I jinx it? Narrator? Oh gosh. Proceed.
Proceed.
The batteries ain't changed.
Oh no.
Narrator? Narrator?
Quick, take the batteries out so it stops beeping.
Narrator? I don't think he's coming back.
He's probably just gone to the store to get
But they
batteries.
didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into
Kind
the
of a little
world.
insane.
As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course,
sounds like
absolutely
Wheatley.
anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get.
Oh,
We get
no.
these demands that seek everything and are accountable
sorry.
to nothing. We get a...
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Narrator? Narrator?
He's taking another nap.
Narrator? Buddy, I missed you. I'm sorry.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the
No,
end. is
you
never
gave
the
in
end,
too.
Is never the
Please.
end, is never the
Please don't
end,
do
is
this.
never
Never
the end, is never
Please,
the
never
end,
the
is
end,
never
please,
the
never
please,
end,
I will do
is
anything.
never the end,
Please. Narrator? Oh, that's not good. There's gonna be mold, and that's how I'm gonna die. Oh, wait, we could have used that water for the plants.
Quick, move the planter over under the water. Nope. Plant is gone now. Oops.
It's... Narrator?
Rest in peace, plant.
Narrator? I'm sorry.
The plant is no longer with us.
I've lost... I just want the narrator back. I would do anything to get him back. No, there's more.
Oh, hey. It's the cousin of plant.
There's
Forest.
Beast. I didn't like that.
Things have changed since the last time you've left the building. What's going on out there will make you wish you were back in there. I have an infinite capacity of knowledge, and even I'm not sure what's going on outside. All I know is that I'm the only thing standing between us and now. So what did we learn?
Narrator?
All of his co-workers were gone.
He's back.
What could it
He's
mean?
back.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh yeah. Something you should try is go back to like the first room. There's an achievement you can get for clicking on 430 5 times. Right there.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417? Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
It's this way.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
437.
I think it's down at the other end.
Through here?
Or you could go there.
So it's either between those doors or in here.
I think you just should go check out the new content. Well, the new content.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is getting intense. That last one was whew.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
The end is looking. Never. Still locked.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a
Yeah,
fully
just
fledged
never-
sequel.
yeah.
An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions.
Is this a MacBook?
This is what
Did
fans
you
have
buy a
truly
Mac?
been
I
asking
can't work
for.
under this. Ooh, a pie. That's not a pie.
Yes, that is a MacBook. I can't
Calling it the
believe.
Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Okay.
That's Windows 10.
time to wake up. Never endless make coffee enjoys leather. Paradigm shift. The color red. They're back 2 doors. I get that on a shirt. Own busted new hotness. Is that a slideshow?
It's a MacBook.
Google Slides. Okay, you know what? Thanks for attending my meeting. Oh, it's the ferns!
It's the fern.
I kept them in mind.
What was the color of the planter?
It was white with a black rim.
Good job.
Oh no, it's Twitter.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2, City, Divinity Origins 2, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar 2. I think the addition of Aladdin 2, which is an okay movie. Okay. If you
Dark Souls 2.
Portal 2, yo! Crab, the ultimate sequel. Yeah. I do.
Ew.
What's back there? I thought that was a grill for a second. I was like, yo, are we grilling something up here? I want to sit down.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to get my photo. Yeah.
Yeah, get your photo with the 2. The 2-2.
Yo.
The 2-2-2.
This reminds me of Jurassic Park, and I feel like this is gonna go horribly.
Welcome to Stanley Parable.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
I want to look at the merch. Okay. I saw the new content. Are these actual shirts?
No, but that is an actual QR code up there.
Alright. Stanley Parable 2, welcome to the official website. A sequel, huh? Watch our helpful and informative video to learn more about the Stanley Parable and what the journey of becoming a sequel is all about. That's new. If you are more of a prequel sort of, then check out the Stanley Parable. Well.
That video is 10 minutes long if you want to watch it.
Oh boy. I can't take my photo over here. Oh, please no screenshots. Consistent quality was just the right
Yeah,
one.
no flash photography. Please.
I don't like that noise.
It's just having some trouble.
Hear your name in the game? Okay.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
And
So
jump.
with that in mind, my first addition to the game
Obviously.
is this button, which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't it the best?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim to
Oh,
really
gosh.
simulate the full experience of this feature.
Here we go.
Just play along. I promise you'll love
Okay.
it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind,
Jim.
forget whoever you are, and simply become a
Hi,
person
I'm
named
Jim. I'm basic.
I want
like
you to
bananas
imagine yourself
and
living
I like
as
oranges.
Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim,
Sleeping
falling in
with
love
my
and being
tiger
heartbroken as Jim,
blanket.
seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly
No.
Jim right now?
My dog
If so,
took
then please
the papers
step
in the
forward and press
house
the
and the
button.
divorce.
Papers. I
Jim.
can't believe you, Jim.
Yes! You see! What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Okay, if it makes you happy.
Yeah.
It hits even harder the second time.
Exactly.
If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim.
I'm sorry.
I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually
Who
are.
am I again? Wait, I'm not Jim?
You are a cocoa bean.
Wait, I'm not actually Jim. Is my life a lie?
Yes,
I suppose
I'm
I could
sorry.
allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
I want to go up to the reassurance bucket.
The greatest feature.
Yes.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution
how the pen
to this
is very
fundamental problem with the game.
Yeah.
It's the Stanley Parable
It's the glow-in-the-dark pen.
reassurance bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your
Board
heart.
members,
It's
please
true.
note that you
As
must
long as you
recall
hold on to the
terms of
bucket,
synergy.
the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps
Bucket.
even comforting.
Okay.
You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be
Don't talk
honest,
to me
it's a
before
much
that
more
is-
convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less
I'd
uncomfortable.
actually buy these mugs.
Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket
I
is the
never want
perfect
Dad.
solution.
Are you a
Come
dad
on,
narrator?
give it a try.
It's a bucket.
Can you feel it?
It's the bucket.
The
It's
glow
the
of
reassurance
comfort,
bucket.
even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Can I roll for that?
I think that just holding it has
Yeah.
made you the slightest bit more attractive as a
Okay.
person. The benefits of the bucket
Good
seem
job,
to
you
go
rolled a
on,
17.
don't they?
Yay!
All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable.
The bucket
2.
gives you +1.
Oh, I get to keep the bucket.
Yes. It's your bucket. It's your reassurance bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday.
Get Well Someday.
Which would you go with?
That's what I would go with. Do you want my
You have to go
bucket?
pick
The bucket could help decide.
behind you.
Oh!
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Aww.
Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Oh, goodness.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Is
We're
that
moving on.
Mariella? Yeah, that's Mariella.
No, that's human.
That's Mariella.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
I'm gonna throw my...
Oh man.
Wow, that is...
A great.
It spins around. You know,
It's spin.
I don't trust this.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
It will happen someday.
But it says it just works.
What else?
It
What
just
other
works.
exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Can you find them? Can you find them? Can you find them? Can you find them?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for
Wait.
collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Good job. You got it.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Why is there... that's probably fine.
It's just light.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
I don't really want to, actually.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer,
You're
but I
bad.
do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
Why?
Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Why? Why should I go back?
Because, I mean, don't you want to stay in...
Okay, Stanley,
You don't
I
want to
don't
stay
know
in
quite how to say
infinite
this
cold
tactfully,
forever, right?
but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly
Am I
deep
gonna
hole.
die?
It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite... Great. Now, I'm very excited to show
thought I
you
was gonna
even
die.
more of my
I didn't
ideas for the
realize.
sequel.
I didn't like the thought of dying.
Yeah, dying is bad for the economy.
I want to go down there. That's Mariella.
The Mary.
Alright, I think we looked at everything.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
I went the right way to exit.
Yeah, we're getting out of here.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready
Got a
to move
bucket?
on now? So, Stanley, what do you think?
Planetarium?
Do you like all of the new features?
Yep,
Yes, I
no,
know
it's
it's not
like
exactly
a-
clear yet how exactly
surgery
these features
theater.
will come together as one single coherent
Oh.
video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Can't
Okay.
get a chair.
Are you ready? Here it is. I give you
Chairs are too high
the
class for
Stanley
Stanley.
Parable 2.
Here we go.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Hey, what is that?
Who
What's
am I
that
kidding,
say?
Stanley? This isn't a
Uh-huh.
Epilogue?
coherent video game at all. It's a lot of
Epilogue.
gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
Why did
I
you
wanted
receive
more than
that?
anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these
Oh,
gags
so they're
are, they
gonna
won't
try.
stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work?
No.
I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Okay. Did you make a horror game narrator?
No, this is the Stanley Parable
Did you go
2.
back in time?
To the first Stanley Parable. The kid gags off the menu.
This is the story of a
We're
man
going
named
back
Stanley.
to the Stanley Parable Deluxe and making
Stanley
it the
worked
Stanley
for a company in
Parable
a
2.
big building
That's
where he
right.
was
Yes.
employee number
Do
427.
you like the balloons?
Employee number 427's
Why don't
job
we
was
get-
simple. He sat at his desk in
Huh?
room
We don't have
427
it in our
and he
room.
pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders
You should have
came to him
balloons
from
all
a
over the
monitor on his
house.
desk, telling
Yeah.
him what buttons to push,
Exactly.
how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although
I don't like how
others
he's
might have
typing.
considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished
Well, he's got to
every moment
press
that
buttons.
orders came
That's
in,
how I type.
as though he had been made
That's how I
exactly
used to
for
type,
this
and
job.
I
Stanley
it's weird.
was happy.
I type like this.
And then one day, something
Very
very
nice.
peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Hi.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, I will say for the bucket,
Stanley picked up the bucket.
holding it actually changes every ending in the game to involve the bucket in some way. So yeah, pretty much, you have an entire set of endings without the bucket,
Stanley
and an
touched the
entire
bucket
set of
tightly
endings
to
with
his
the bucket.
chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Yo!
Yo!
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
So handsome.
I know, Stanley is a handsome man.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All
This
because he
might be
believed
my
everyone had
favorite
vanished.
ending.
His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred
And then
to Stanley.
confusion ending is my second.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket.
Oh no!
Now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it.
Oh, no.
Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Did I eat the
It was
bucket?
incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Bleh.
Bleh.
Did I eat my bucket?
This is the story
You
of a
ate the
woman
bucket?
named Mariella.
Oh, Mariella's back. I missed her.
Mariella
Hello,
woke up on
Mariella.
a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem
She
was.
didn't have a bucket.
This man had
Yeah.
no bucket. Of
What a
course, he'd gone mad.
I know,
Ranting and
imagine not
raving
having
about
a
the narrator
bucket.
describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own
What a
bucket
tragedy.
even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Whoa, that's cool.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial
Are you just
outcome
gonna
fell
do
under
this,
his
ending it every
responsibility?
time you feel
He had never
scared?
been trained for that.
I want my
No.
bucket.
This couldn't go any way except badly.
I want my
The
bucket.
thing to do now, Stanley thought to
Your
himself,
bucket is still
to
here.
wait.
That's,
Nothing
no,
will
it's
hurt
not.
me.
This is
Nothing
a bug.
will break
This,
me.
I hate
In
truth.
here
hate
I can be
Mondays.
happy forever.
That can
I
technically
will
be
be
considered a bucket.
Stanley waited. Hours passed.
That was
and days.
that can be a
Had years
bucket
gone by?
with
He no
a side
longer had the
missing.
ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any
can't be
doubt,
happy
was
without
that
my
if he
bucket.
waited long enough, the
The
answers
chair
would
is just a
come.
bucket.
Eventually,
That's
someday,
very small
they
bucket.
would arrive.
A chair
Soon,
is a piece of furniture.
very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to.
This
He
is
will be told what to do.
Not a love seat.
Now it's just
or
a little bit
sofa.
closer. Now it's even closer.
It's
Here it comes.
chair.
I thought there was going to be a different ending because it's like, oh, you didn't have his bucket, and so
Just
No,
a step
you only
through this
get different
door, Stanley
endings
thought
if
to
you're
himself.
holding the
That's
bucket.
all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can
Yeah.
make it through them all. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms,
Oh, wait, that
and a
door
wave of
closed.
comfort rushed over him.
yeah.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
The bucket is the number one dad.
Yes. Oh, there's a note. What is...
Truly, being here with the
What
bucket was
is-
a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. Then walking to the lounge. Then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, the bucket was wrong. No.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight
Don't
ahead to the
disrespect
opposite
the
door.
bucket, whatever this is, in my hand, like that.
The hole.
Yeah.
The portable hole.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
What did I... Wait.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much.
Hi, baby.
It's this bucket you're carrying
Yes, the
around
baby.
everywhere.
the bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it.
Hey.
Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
He's disrespecting the bucket. I don't even know you.
I can't believe he's being rude to the bucket.
I can't. Fine, I'll follow your silly line.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
It's got the... Okay. I'm sorry for disrespecting you, but I missed
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Hey.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this.
Portal?
But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
No. 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 Don't touch my bucket.
Don't put a fingy on the bucket.
It's like my companion cube, but I'm not getting rid of it. You can't make me.
Companion bucket.
Yes. No. No.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the
No.
bucket.
No.
That's why
No.
I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
No.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich
No.
lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it
No.
also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality
You
that to
don't
me,
get my
it
bucket.
already feels as though it's been part of the cast all
Let
along.
me
Don't
leave.
you agree?
No.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now,
How do you turn
Stanley.
it off?
Say goodbye to the bucket,
How do you
and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
I don't want to say goodbye to you.
Now
yet.
listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket.
You must get
I
rid
don't
of the
know what
bucket.
the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like
bucket loves you
10
too much.
personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it for the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
I shouldn't have walked back.
Rest in
Bucket
peace.
Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
I said I'm sorry. What more do you want from me? Oh, I'll buy you a new one?
You can never replace Bucket Destroyer.
And you can't replace my bucket.
Exactly.
All of his co-workers would go, oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort.
Yeah.
A measly
Well,
5
Clicking the simulator
clicks.
twice
Now
16.
suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Yeah, keep clicking. Yeah.
Spam the A button.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Well, just click harder. Then it will hurt less.
I'll change. Oh my nail! It looks like it's gonna break soon. No.
Oh no.
No, I'm still not feeling
Maybe
that.
you could try
I want
using
this
your
achievement to
controller
have meant
like
something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417? The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Why are you back? I didn't ask for you to be back. I don't. No.
What's wrong with the bucket?
No, not the bucket. I like the bucket. Just.
Okay, great. Now, go touch the bucket on door 437 a few times.
437's back the other way.
Oh, I knew that. 57.
Yes, now we're getting somewhere. How about door 415? Give it some bucket love. Now back to door number 437.
You want the achievement, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, I think the copy machine needs some attention. All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Be my Valentine. Aw.
Okay, now bring the bucket on top of employee 419's desk.
Okay.
It's on the other side of 418.
Oh, wait, they're marked. No. No.
No.
No. I will not let any alternates come in through the PC.
Isn't that just your son?
Yeah, but I don't want Jay to touch with the bucket. Where's
Too bad.
4-9?
Yes, you must climb on the desk.
Yes, this is great. Now the bucket knows exactly what it's like to be employee 419. Now, let's introduce it to door 416. We've almost got it. Now make the bucket and the copy machine touch again.
Don't say it like that, please. Thank you.
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 touches of the bucket on door 430. Yes, we did it.
I did it.
Wow, that felt amazing. You know, not all buckets will get this kind of experience. They won't all know what it's like to slam repeatedly against nearly every door in
Yeah,
one
like my
section of
bucket.
an office building. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
How hard are you
Not
hugging the
directly
bucket?
to the meeting room.
I'm so hard
But
right
Stanley
now.
had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And
The
here
bucket
it
will
was.
reassure
Had the
you.
bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
No.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
What
The
if I-
cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the
Right.
cargo lift.
What if I?
What if you?
What if I?
What if you? What if you?
What if? But with the bucket.
What if? Would you want to do it for the bucket?
Ooh! Figurine!
Figurine.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
I died with the bucket.
I'm so
All of
proud
his
of you.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched
bucket
the
is
bucket
love.
tightly to his chest
Yes.
and entered the door on his left.
Yes. Gotta catch them all.
His nose.
It's so he can smell out the collectibles.
When I get on the table, I want to read their their information. Jinder, how can you tell us about it?
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
No.
You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the
No.
bucket. I can really
No.
feel it now.
No.
It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
You're just jealous that you'll never be good enough to be with me.
Yeah, you tell him.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all.
Heads
Here we
and tails?
go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate. No more discussion.
Thank you.
Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering
Yeah, get outta
philosophical
here.
diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
The broom closet smells.
Yeah.
All right, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, he just put a sticker on it.
Yeah, it's a second sticker.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines.
Yo.
And now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies.
I like
What do you think, Stanley?
Stanlerines.
What name better encapsulates the
Stanlerines are
intrinsic
nice.
sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Yeah, that's the lovely part. This isn't as nice as I thought it would be. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of disappointed by the executives.
I mean, yeah, that's the executive bathroom. What does the regular bathroom look like?
Wonderful question. I've never tried the elevator.
Oh, the elevator is incredible. I can't wait for you to try it.
Paper is so glowy.
The paper's got ray tracing.
Alright, while we wait, I'm gonna go get a snack real quick.
Okay. I'll probably go grab my own snack.
I haven't eaten the snack. Oh, we're still going.
Welcome back. I know, isn't this a great elevator?
I like it.
Yeah. It's nice. You can press the elevator button if you ever want to stop it.
Oh, can I? I didn't know that's how elevators worked.
Yeah, this is the executive elevator.
Wait, does it just not do anything?
Well, yeah, it's an elevator simulator.
Stepping into his manager's
So
office,
can't play the
Stanley
piano.
was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing
I
presence
thought that was
of the
Lord
bucket.
Farquaad.
Even
Yeah,
now, in
Markiplier.
his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth
I mean, aren't they the
guiding
same person?
light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos? It would be, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was
I
it
didn't
the
expect that
bucket
to be
knew
right.
all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I didn't mean to do that. Ooh.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one. And then the first number will equal the second number, and that will
Yay.
be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
None of us can. Woo!
Dissension.
I love Dissension. It's a good song.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
December.
It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
Thank you, Bucket.
Soothing him, comforting him,
The bucket
reassuring
is the
that in this
greatest
darkest
asset.
moment of uncertainty, he
Yes.
would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Everything's gonna be just
Stanley and the
fine.
bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read
I haven't gone this
Mind
way yet.
Control. Although this passageway had the word
I would
escape
recommend not
on it,
doing this
the
path
truth
until
was that
you've
at the end of this hall, Stanley and
seen the
the bucket
non-bucket
would both
version.
meet a violent death.
Yeah.
But of course, Stanley and the bucket thought better of it and realized they simply had too much to live for. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
If the TVs aren't
What
filled with
horrible
buckets, I'm gonna be
secret did
sad.
this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered.
Actually,
to
for a lot of the
themselves.
endings, I'd recommend you see the normal version of it before experiencing the bucket version. TM, trademark, restricted, copyright.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into
It's okay,
tears
Bucket, I
as
promise.
Stanley cradled it gently,
cry.
Okay, Bucket.
reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
No.
Had the bucket been told
No.
to do things it didn't wish to do? What
It's okay,
kinds
Bucket.
of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
I promise, Bucket, it'll be okay.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it.
It's gonna
His
be
own
okay.
life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter.
Pirate!
His one
Wait,
friend
I never
in the
noticed that.
entire world. At this point, he could trust
Oh
no
yeah, it's
one
the facility's
except
pirate
for the
division.
bucket.
Yo, Foxy the Pirate?
Yeah, Foxy was there.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket
Yo, it's like
would
one shot, for
dismantle the
real.
controls for good.
Yo, it's
Two
like one
best
shot.
friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Alright, Bucket, we could either turn this off or we could get like a lot of power. I think.
Power.
Okay.
We need the power.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery.
Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley
This is the absolute best timeline.
We ended with a duck, as always.
Yep. Something, something, don't hug me, I'm a scared reference.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley picked up the bucket
It
and
has the
smiled.
property of Stanley.
He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Somewhere both red and blue.
That's somewhere you haven't been yet.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Did the door open by itself?
No, you opened it.
Suspicious.
Coming to a staircase,
Stuffy.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
How did you get the
Even
code
now,
the first
in
time
his
and now you
darkest of
don't
hours,
remember it?
did the bucket's warmth and guiding
Talk
light
about it.
pierce the dark
I
clouds
think it's
of confusion and
888.
chaos? It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he
Try it
knew
again.
it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point,
888.
Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with them, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
I doubt
Was
we
it the
sure
bucket knew all along? Was
Sheer
the
luck.
bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Has that rip always been there? I feel like that rip has always been there.
It was there eventually.
Suspicious. I'm thinking
Sussy.
the thumbnail of this video should just be me holding the bucket. Or like high-fiving it in a cool epic way.
Or wearing it on your head.
Stanley and the bucket
Yes,
walked straight
the
ahead
Plants
through the
vs.
large
Zombies.
door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Everything ties back to Plants vs. Zombies.
Oh noes.
The lights rose on an enormous
Actually, let's
room
look
packed
at it
with
on
television
6:30's
screens.
Wikipedia.
What horrible
gosh.
secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Alright, let's see. Stanley Parable.
The monitors jumped to life,
Ew.
and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Oh, there's another fired one. I noticed that one.
The Stanley Parable to Valve
Was
to
the
electronic
bucket under
arts
the mind
Plants vs.
control
Zombies.
facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No!
What do you think a
he
bucket would
screamed
not
into the
want to
bucket.
do?
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He
Gamble.
squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the
Why
entire
would a bucket
world.
not want to gamble?
At this point, he could trust
I feel
no
like
one
they're always on the
except
rim of
for the
things,
bucket.
and so they'd probably lose a lot in like poker.
But here was the proof.
Why can't they just,
The heart of the operation.
like, $1
Controls labeled
on,
with
like,
emotions.
I don't know,
happy
winning?
Or sad or
Right,
content.
but like once you put in
Walking,
$1, you want to
eating,
put in 5,
working,
and once you put
all of
in
it
5, you
monitored
wanna
and
put in 10.
commanded from this very place. And as
No
the
way.
cold
what
reality of
if
his
the bucket
past
just bets
began
water
to sink in,
instead?
Stanley decided that
Oh, I didn't ask the bucket what the bucket wanted. I'm sorry, bucket. I was rude.
I'm sorry, bucket.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
No. It's never over.
Yes! They had done it! Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty.
Bucket, I'm sorry.
Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No!
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
I have the bucket.
To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Well, wasn't the worst thing.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Please stay in the broom
Coming
closet.
to a staircase, Stanley walked
No.
upstairs to
Was
his
something gonna
boss's
happen?
office.
Yeah, you were gonna get the broom closet ending.
Oh.
The greatest ending.
I'll come
Stepping
back.
into his manager's office, Stanley
Okay.
was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Oh,
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered
2,
in
8, 4, 5.
disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Amazing.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
congratulations, you did it.
What'd I do?
You did it.
I did it?
Yeah, you did it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
Mind
Facility.
Control.
Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
was it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that was not it.
It's never right.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise,
That's not
he
Mr.
reflected that
Spiky.
his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
Yeah, it's Mr.
Stanley
Flatty.
can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his
All right.
brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
That's unfortunate.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
It's so quiet. I don't like this.
But yeah, and it's a museum. It's polite to be quiet.
Solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy on you. Stanley stood on the roof. Stanley pushed the big red button.
I know. The white is so nice.
So calming, but like, wow. Oh, I thought this was a compulsion gel.
Nope.
The Zending.
Zending.
I haven't gotten that one yet. Have I?
You have not gotten the Zending yet?
Payments layout. Huh.
Meh.
Narrator's emails.
Would you email the narrator?
Yeah, I would. He seems chill.
Yeah.
Stanley's office from beep beep.
Beep beep. Beep 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 beep.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
You know, hearing that voice, it kind of sounds like,
Can you see how much they need one another?
yeah, what's her name?
No.
Leslie.
Perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot
I
be
see
seen.
it, or I hear it.
Yeah.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let...
So are there two different things for doing it?
Well, you can either quit the game, or you can just let it play out. Nothing happens if you quit the game, and nothing
Time
happens
choose
if
for
you let it play
Don't
out.
let...
Oh. That was kind of depressing.
Don't let time choose for you.
All of his co-workers were gone.
I think we
What
should
could it
do
mean?
one more. That's
Stanley
more
decided to go
positive.
to the meeting room. Perhaps
Yeah.
he had simply missed a memo.
What should we do?
Well, I mean, there is one on the right path that I
The
think
good
you'd
old
enjoy.
bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had
The one
felt
where you
the
go
bucket
straightforward?
calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge
it-
was simply the place to be.
Try
And
unplugging
here
the
it
phone with
was.
the
Had the
bucket.
bucket turned out to be correct? Was this no? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yeah, good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Wait, I could drop down.
Yeah, that's another ending.
I never realized that.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the...
Whoa! Hold on. Why did you unplug the phone?
'Cause I
Were
felt
you
like
trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Ugh.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it, but there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, In all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic
Do you
timing.
follow this?
To begin the joke,
gonna do this
start by stating and spelling your name.
Oh
Next,
no.
provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice,
The joke
"I'm
is over.
Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, I'm Dunny with the funny now.
I'm Dunny with the
Funny.
funny.
I'm Dunny
Dunny
with the funny.
Good.
Dunny with the funny.
This saying is a perfect example of expectations management,
Dunny
which
with
is
the
the
funny.
cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard
gosh.
data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back
That's a
then.
weird
So with
outlet.
that in
It's
mind,
upside down.
I believe the only way forward is for
It's a
us to
British
return
outlet.
to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery.
Oh,
Come along,
no.
let's head back.
Oh, what are we in? Oh, goodness gracious.
The narrator's gonna raise his hand at a 15-degree angle.
Make sure to bring a projector tomorrow.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery.
Make sure you
You'll
stand
be
no
in
more than
stitches,
50
but talking
centimeters
about
away
it,
from
you'll
me.
say how ridiculous, how absurd, what a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Yeah.
And we're back. Don't worry.
Here we go.
Let's stream
You
with
ready?
it.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually got legitimately curious about if Chris Pratt starred in any Disney movies because I forgot he was Star-Lord. Apparently, they made a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Already?
Yeah, I have. That's the one I have on
What's going
my
on? There were
thing.
supposed to be
Like,
several rooms
I didn't
leading
know
up to this.
that, and now I'm
There was
very
supposed
curious.
to be a build-up
I'll
to
send
this
you a photo
point,
of it.
a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit, which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's
He's
completely
hiding
off.
right behind Nobora.
Joke will never land.
Oh, no.
Not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake.
How did you forget
I've made
that?
a fool of myself. I don't
Come
deserve
on,
the title of King
that's
of
like
Comedy.
forgetting
I'm
that the
nothing.
code is
I'm
2845.
not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again.
Oh, we're gonna read.
Surely that will help me improve my...
You need to learn improv.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No.
I really like his British voice. It's
Here we go. You ready?
He sounds more British
When
than
Stanley and the
me, and I
bucket
don't know
came
how
to
to
a set
spell.
of 2 open doors, they entered
Is it
the
a
door
good
on
thing
the
or a
left.
bad thing?
I don't know, but should I keep going right?
Go to the left. I think that's how you get the ending.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your
Wait, I
fault,
want more
Stanley.
comments.
I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed
Are
at
there still
every one of our
figurines?
meetings from now on. All because you
Yeah.
couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley.
I have.
I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame. Pale...
Narrator,
What
you're
another word to describe a
amazing, but
bucket?
please.
Stanley, this bucket is so
Yeah.
mental. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again.
Again?
More instructional videos.
You-
Let's see.
More instructional videos. We need all the instruction.
Wait. We can't just end it off like this. Can we?
Oh yeah, sometimes the office decides to change.
Okay, wait, I just...
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the
These
place
doors
to
will
be.
work. That's a different room, I think.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
Everything's
No,
the same, it's
never
just the
mind.
first hallway was
The
different.
bucket was wrong.
Aw.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Okay. So, it's in a red and blue room.
Yeah.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked
Stickers are
upstairs to the
great. I love
boss's
them.
office.
Yes. Oh, should I just stop it right here, or should we?
Yeah, I think this is a good stopping point.
Okay, let's go into the elevator. Elevator's where we're gonna stop.
Yeah. The elevator simulator.
Yes. Well,
The simulator, for sure.
thank you for watching with the bucket.
Hey, be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, ring that little bell, and pay all your bells to me. I need them. I'm still paying up on the deck.
And thank you, Infinity Plus 05, for being a special guest today.
I'm not special. What do you mean?
Yeah,
I'm like here every other.
You're the second narrator in my head, and I appreciate you.
No, I'm the fifth. There's some other people floating around in here.
Oh, really?
Don't worry, I took care of them.
Oh, never mind.
Don't worry. I'll be taken out soon.
Okay.
By the sick.
No!
They're coming.
No, why
Run.
did you have to make that reference? I can't get that out of my head.
I don't even know what I was referencing, but I'm glad I referenced something because.
Do you remember the one where I'm scared with the eagle? When like they
Oh yeah.
Jack with the
Okay. I'm Dunny with the funny.
Alright, this is how we're ending it. Bye bye.
I'm Dunny with the video league.